Hi, I'm Richard and this is Fix Make. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 ways to cut lap joints that I use. Hopefully there will be one there that suits your needs and your tools. Half lap joints are the most useful and fairly simple joints to create in the workshop. You can build frames with them, jigs with them, and all sorts of furniture. And I've tried 3 different approaches to see which one works the best. And in this approach, I'm just using hand tools, just marking the 2 pieces of wood either end so I know which ones to cut off. A Japanese pull saw to cut across the grain. And then I've carefully marked up and I've clamped the wood here. And I'm cutting down the line as best I can. Keeping it straight and then just cutting across the last bit. It's not bad, it's all right. Might just clean it up with a chisel. And then have a look. It's a bit rough on the edges, but looks all right, and it goes together. Cut another one, and there you go. That's the first option. Second option, I mark up again and check the depth of the cut that I want, because this time I'm going to use my circular saw. I'm just measuring the depth of the cut that I want on the saw, and then I've got a little jig I've created here with a 90-degree board on the bottom that I can then put my circular saw on and cut across the grain. And then I just have to shift the board over a couple of millimeters, thickness of the blade, and cut out. It's a fairly quick process. I made a second one to see how it would fit together. It's quite rough, pretty quick. So that's the second version. Now the third version, I use the circular saw again, but this time I'm just going to cut across the grain once. Got to line up the ends and then cut across the grain. See there, it's nice and square and straight. That's the first bit. And then the second bit is this little jig. My saw isn't quite deep enough, the blade's not quite big enough, so I just have to use my pull saw to finish it off. Which gives a little bit of a rough finish, but it's lovely and square and tight and true. So of the 3, the cross-cut version is pretty quick to do, but it's really rough. Hand sawn only I'd probably put that second, and then the best version I found was the 2 jigs, one cutting across and one cutting vertically down. That was the quickest and most accurate. Which version of this you'll use will depend on what tools you have available to you in the workshop and what you're doing it for. I'm sure there are other ways of doing this. The table saw is probably one. Using a router I've seen is probably another, but these are the 3 that I use most often with the tools that I have currently in my workshop. If you like this video, please do the usual, subscribe, thumbs up. I've got a lot more videos on my channel. I'd really appreciate it if you have a look, have a browse, have a watch. I'm trying to build my channel So any comments, likes, shares, really appreciated. Yes, that means you and you. So until the next time, bye for now.